Welcome, everyone, to Intensity Broadcasting for coverage of the SCSRA Xfinity Series. Tonight, we are going to have 170 laps at Martinsville Speedway for the Grandma Hagerman 170. I'm going to be your announcer for tonight, Atlee Atman-Leeson. I'm excited to call the broadcast. Last week, we were at Road America. We saw Cody Moore get his first win of the season, leading 32 of the 35 laps. He absolutely dominated the race, only losing the lead when coming in to the pits. We saw Brian Newty take second. He led 2 laps. Cameron Austin took third. We saw Colin Willems finish fourth, and then Bobby Mays rounded out your top 5. So after 3 races, your current leader in the point standings is Logan Hagerman with 1 win this season. Behind him, 12 points behind, it's Brian Newty. Third in points, it's Colin Willems. Fourth, it's Cameron Austin. And fifth, we have Kyle Mays. So still a very, 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 very tight point race. Right now in practice, we see Brian Newty on the top of the board with a 19.75. Then second, we have Cameron Austin. Third is Cody Moore. Fourth is Todd Mays. And fifth in practice is Devin Buccino. We do want to say thank you to Grandma Hagerman for sponsoring tonight's Grace. Grandma Hagerman sponsoring races since 2021. Grandma Hagerman is the founding member of the Logerman Fan Club. Take a look at some drivers turning laps here in practice. I tried racing here in the Xfinity cars at Martinsville, and it is hard. It is all about getting that car to rotate enough, getting the car loose enough to get around the corners, and it's also going to be a lot about tire management. Martinsville was one of the tracks that I penciled in on the schedule where, in my opinion, I think anybody can win this race. We've already seen 3 unique winners this season. Who says we can't have a fourth? And I think the main thing is we're going to be seeing lots of cautions. And it's going to be all about patience and just being patient with the cautions, hanging on to the car, saving those tires. Man, we'll see what happens here. Ryan Selena says, big shout out to Grandma Hagerman, the #1 supporter, tuning in for every race. Yes, this race is brought to you by Grandma Hagerman, as this is the Grandma Hagerman 170. So, yep, another shout out to Grandma Hagerman for always tuning in to watch the races and always being a big supporter of Logan Hagerman and the league, whether it was the iOS or the SCSRA. She tunes in to watch all of the broadcasts. We are currently qualifying. Each driver will get 2 laps to try to set his best lap time. So let's see who's going to set their best lap time of the race here. Let's see what happens. So we got Colin Willems on track, Dylan Redding on track. Got a lot of the neon cars on track. And we're already seeing some lap times get on the board. Colin Willems with a 19.99, one of the only drivers to break into the 19 so far. Colton Kinsey second, Michael Provolt third. Got Dylan Redding fifth. Nobody is able to get to Colin Willems, though. Colin Willems improves on lap number 2 with a 19.92. Colton Kinsey still about a 10th off right now. Dembuccino to third with a 20.25. Todd Mays with a great lap time, 19.99. Still about 700ths off of Colin Willems. Colin Willems with a great, great lap time. Got Brandon White on track. This is his first lap. Oh, wow. Cameron Austin to the top of the board, 19.85. Great lap time for him, the first driver to break into the 19.8s. We see Paul Ems with a 19.90. He's about 500ths off the lead right now. Great lap time for him as well. There we see Mark Shavers taking off. Mark Shavers is actually sponsoring our Wreckage Rewind tonight. So shout out to Mark for that. And you'll be able to see the Marco's Pizza Wreckage Rewind. And I will say from experience, I've tried Marco's Pizza multiple times. It's a fantastic pizza place. Probably my favorite fast food pizza place. I know we literally just had another pizza place sponsor with Gill's Dump Truck Service and Pizzeria last week. But man, nothing can really beat Marco's Pizza. So again, shout out to Mark Shavers for sponsoring tonight's event. Or the Wreckage replay. Got Isaiah Gill on track. He's up to 7th with a 19.97. Still about a 10th off of the lead right now. Got Nick Mather getting ready to set his lap time. Mather on the back stretch. Getting ready to go here through 3 and 4 for his first lap time. Mather looking pretty good. That's a 20.39 for him. We see Mark Shaver slowing down after completing his lap times. Here we have Derek Chaput on track right now. And there is last week's winner, Cody Moore. Trying to see if he can go from winning at a road course to winning at a short track. Both takes a lot of skill in saving tires and managing the brake. Of course, you don't have to downshift here at these short tracks. Brian Nudie to the top of the board with a 19.84. So now we see 100th separates first and second. Fantastic lap time for that 40 machine. We know Brian was on the top of the board during practice, and now we see he's on the top of the board here again in qualifying. Right now it's looking like Brian Nudie is the favorite to win tonight's event. And then he improves again with a 19.7. Brian Nudie looking very, very fast right now. Yeah, Michael White on the board with a 20.28. Still about 5 or 6 tenths off of the lead right now. We do have a little bit of a break in the action. I am going to make a quick graphics adjustment, and then we will be back live with the stream. All right, so Paul Ems took the green flag, and we see the car just like flies right. Barely misses hitting your leader, Cameron Austin. Luckily, that wasn't a huge pileup. We are getting ready to go back green here. Cameron Austin restarting on the bottom. Brandon White restarting on the top. Behind them, we see that's Paul Ems, and here's Isaiah Gill up into the top 5. Pace cars in. And here we go, coming back to the restart. Green flag is out, and there we see a great restart for Brandon White. He has the nose as we cross the line. Cameron Austin to his rear quarter panel. We see Brandon White almost clear side by side here on the backstretch. We see Cameron Austin with the nose. Isaiah Gill right there in third. He is looking under Brandon White now. They're pretty much equal here in 1 and 2. See Gill with the nose. And here comes Isaiah Gill reeling in your leader, Cameron Austin. Whew. Almost saw some contact there between Brandon White, Isaiah Gill. Here comes Paul Ems trying to work his way back up through the field. He is right on Brandon White's back bumper. Paul Ems taking a look to the high side. That's actually going to cost him, as that's going to allow Colton Kinsey to reel him in. We see Paul Ems regrouping and trying to get back around Brandon White for that third spot. Colton Kinsey all over that back bumper, that 28 machine. This is for the fourth spot. Cameron Austin just ran the fastest lap time of the race with a 20.08. That 77 is fast right now as the tires are just now coming in. Another fast lap time. First driver to break into the 19s with a 19.96. Isaiah Gill right there on Cameron Austin's back bumper. Gill trying to set up that pass. Let's take a look here at the cockpit cam of the... We see a caution flag is out. Let's go ahead and take a look here at your Mark Shaver's Marco's Pizza Wreckage replay. And here's what happened. So we are watching Brian Merle Jr. He is coming up on Nick Mather. See, Mather and Lawrence, I believe, get into it. We see Mather barely... Oh, so I think... Michael Lawrence was trying to avoid hitting Nick Mather. He slows up, and then we see Merle Jr. just runs right into the back of him. Bobby Mays is involved. Chris Wheeler gets a little bit of damage. Brian Nudie also involved in this one. I believe Mark Shavers was able to make it through. Man, hate to see it for those involved. We see Cassie Williams on Facebook says, "Let's go, Colin and Mather." Let's see where both of them are at in the field right now. See, Colin Williams is in the pits. I'm not sure if he just came in. I think he might have just came in to take tires. He wasn't involved in the most recent incident. That's an interesting strategy for him. I don't think we saw any of his other YXU teammates come in with him See, Mather, who's actually involved in our most recent incident, he's running in 12th right now. He's got a chance to maybe get a top 10, has been running good so far. See what he can do here. But still, Cameron Austin is your leader. Has led every single lap so far. Thank you, Dean Qualley, for the 200 stars donations. That is greatly appreciated. And thanks for tuning in to watch the broadcast. And we're getting ready to go back green here. Cameron Austin restarting on the bottom. And look who's up in the top two. It's Isaiah Gill restarting on the top. Here we go. Pace car's in. Side by side. And green flag is out there. We see Cameron Austin taking off. He is able to get clear of Isaiah Gill. Brandon White to third. Isaiah Gill trying to reel in that 77 machine. He's coming. I think he might try to maybe make a pass here in 3 and 4. No, we don't see that happen. Gill being patient, trying to set up that pass on Cameron Austin. Isaiah Gill right there. He could bump Cameron Austin if he wanted to. Oh, Brandon White is loose. We see a big pileup on the front stretch. Wait. It's like we don't see a caution flag come out. We stay green flag racing. Looks like, I guess, Brandon White was able to save it. So we see Cameron Austin continues to lead. In fact, he just ran the fastest lap time of the race. Here comes Colton Kinsey looking low under Brandon White for that 6th place spot. See White washes way up the track, and now Colton Kinsey is up to 6th. He's going to be setting his sights on your 5th place driver, Logan Hagerman. See Devin Buccino trying to get by Brandon White for that 8th spot. Oh, side by side between Bobby Mays and that's Brian Nudie. Tight battle between those two. Brandon White on Colton Kinsey's back bumper. He's trying to make a move here. Brandon White trying to... Oh, he's getting passed right now by Brian Nudie. Nudie with the nose. And he is able to get clear. Brian Nudie up to 9th now. Check back in. Still Brandon White all over Colton Kinsey's back bumper for that 6th spot. White almost to that rear quarter panel. Ooh, we see Kinsey washes way up the track, and that is going to allow Michael White to get under him. Michael White up to 6th place right now. We see Logan Hagerman trying to get by Zachary Cox for that 4th spot. Hagerman, rear quarter panel, side panel, clear. Logan Hagerman up to 4th place now. And he is going to be setting his sights on your top 3. 2 seconds separate 3rd and 4th. We see Colton Kinsey trying to reel back in 6th place Michael White after getting past. And we saw that 54 Interstate Batteries machine wash up in 3 and 4. Oh, we see Zachary Cox washes way down the track. I'm not sure if he got loose. Oh, contact. Colton Kinsey, Zachary Cox are both around. We see they both. Oh, Brandon White into the inside wall. Caution flag is out. It's now time for the Marco's Pizza Wreckage replay. Right now we're watching Brandon White. We see he was coming in on Brian Nudie. We were side by side between Zachary Cox and Colton Kinsey. See the two make contact. I'm not quite sure who came up or who came down. It looked to me just like hard racing. And then it looked like they had it saved. And then Brandon White gets down on this little, I don't know how to describe that. It's not a turtle. But he hits that bump and that sends him around. And that's how the caution flag came out. So right now, field getting re-racked and restacked as we're getting ready to go back green. Top 5, Cameron Austin in first. Isaiah Gill in second. Paul Ems in third. We see Logan Hagerman in fourth. And then rounding out your top 5, we have Michael White. So far, your top 15 pretty much has not come into the pits yet. I'm not really sure what the tire window is, but it's got to be coming up soon. I believe Sylvain Seguin will be getting his lap back. There you see, here he is right here. That's going to put him back into the contention for this thing. In my opinion, anybody can win this race. There's no, favorite, in my opinion. Of course, we've seen Cameron Austin lead every single lap so far. But, hey, anything can happen. There can be a wreck up front. There can be a spin. And the field can stack up. Saw that happen in our previous race tonight with the Mayhem Modifieds. Anything can happen here at Martinsville. Here we go, getting ready to go back green. Cameron Austin restarting on the bottom. Isaiah Gill restarting on the top. Now, Isaiah Gill loves these short tracks. He has dominated the Tuesday night SCSRA Street Stock Series. He's trying to get his first win this season, and it figures that it might be at a short track. Green flag is back out. There we see Cameron Austin taking off. He is able to get clear of Isaiah Gill. We see Isaiah Gill still right on Cameron Austin's back bumper. Here comes Logan Hagerman trying to look to the outside of Paul Ems. He's to his rear quarter panel. Side by side for third. But we see Paul Ems able to get clear. Here comes Brandon White. Oh, they beat and bang. Or excuse me, Michael White. Michael White up to that fourth spot now. We see Brian Nudie right there. He is looking low under Michael White for that fourth spot. And they are side by side as we cross the line. Brian Nudie was able to outbrake that 09 machine, and he is now up to the fourth spot. Caution flag is out. We see a huge wreck between, we see Josh Hall, not Mark Shavers. Mark Shavers involved in this one. It is now time for the Marco's Pizza Wreckage replay. Here we go. We're watching Richard Mays. See, Kyle Mays washes way up the track. Todd looking to try to... So we got all the Mays Mafia in close proximity to each other on track. Let's see what Todd is going to do here. We see Todd looking low under Mark. He slides up and clips his left rear. And that's going to send the Marco's Pizza machine around. See Brandon White getting his lap back. He is now on to the lead lap. After starting on the top 5 and ran there for a little bit. Trying to get back up to the field. Coming to 50 laps completed still. Cameron Austin has led every single lap so far. Absolutely dominated this race. He is definitely the favorite to win this one. After him, have to say, the short track specialist, Isaiah Gill. Well, I mean, he's not a short track specialist. Isaiah Gill can be a competitor any given week, but he definitely loves these short tracks again. He's dominated the SCSRA Street Stock Series. In fact, won this week at Lanier. See Bailey Cross says, Rubbins racing. Let's go, Buccino. Devin Buccino in the top 10 right now. He's going to be starting on the outside on this next restart, trying to get up to the top 5. Definitely a contender for the win. Does have a little bit of damage, but we'll see if that will set him back or can he get up there. We see pace cars in. Green flag is out, and there we see Cameron Austin taking off. He is able to get clear of Isaiah Gill. Isaiah Gill, though, still right on his back bumper. Trying to set up the pass here as we go into turns 3 and 4. Gill trying to outbrake the 77. We see Paul Ems almost got to the 2's rear quarter panel. Here comes Michael White looking low under Brian Nudie for 4th. He almost got to the 40's rear quarter panel, where we see Brian Nudie able to shut the door. Nudie reeling in Paul Ems for that 3rd spot. Here's Joe Wright trying to get around Michael White for that 5th spot. Oh, we see a lot of bumping and banging going on between Devin Buccino and Bobby Mays. This is for that 8th spot. Devin Buccino able to stay in 8th, though. Brian Nudie reeling in Paul Ems for that 3rd spot, trying to set up that pass. Nudie looking low. I think he's going to try to get under him, and 1 and 2 he does. Brian Nudie with the nose. And Brian Nudie is clear. Brian Nudie now up to that 3rd spot. We see side by side between Paul Ems and Michael White for 4th. We see Paul Ems with the nose. Then we see Michael White with the good run. Here comes Michael White. Oh, they make contact. See Joe right there as well. Oh, Paul Ems into the outside wall. And that is going to hurt his chances to get the win. He falls way behind. See Michael White trying to look to the outside of Logan Hagerman for that 5th spot. But Logan Hagerman now up to 5th. We see here comes Devin Buccino looking low under Michael White for 6th. White with the nose on the outside as we go into 3 and 4. And there we see... There we go. Devin Buccino able to get clear. He is up to 6th now. Here comes Bobby Mays looking to try to get by Michael White. See Kyle Mays there as well. And caution flag is out. We see Brian Merle Jr. around Dylan Redding. A lot of the Neon Racing cars. Mark Shaver's involved. As we are getting ready for the Marco's Pizza Wreckage Rewind. Here's Brian Merle Jr. He was running behind Nick Mather. We see Mather into the outside wall. Merle looking high. And then he just gets loose into 3 and 4. No contact whatsoever. And then he slides up into Merle Jr. Brian into the outside wall. And then he slides down the track. Dylan Redding has nowhere to go except for to plow right into his teammate. See, Eddie Morse goes high to avoid the wreck. Mark Shavers into the outside wall trying to avoid the wreck. So we saw the top 5 get very shaken up. Right now, Cameron Austin is in 1st. Isaiah Gillen 2nd. We see Brian Nudie in 3rd. Joe Wright in 4th. And then rounding out your top 5, we have Logan Hagerman. Still, nobody has came into the pits yet to take tires. These drivers are waiting as long as they possibly can to come in. You're still pacing here. We see 2 drivers in the top 5 last week, or in the top 5 this week right now. Brian Nudie, he finished 2nd place last week, led 2 laps. He's very, very good at these road courses, and now, road courses and short tracks are very similar. He's showing that he can do well. He's in 3rd, and then Cameron Austin, who got 3rd last race, he is currently hanging out in that 1st spot, has led every lap so far. Last week's winner, Cody Moore, currently in the pits. He's had a rough race so far. Hasn't really made his way. We haven't really said his name too much. Hasn't made his way into like the top 15 or the top 10. He's just been kind of hanging out in the back. See if whatever change he's going to make here in the pits are going to help. Getting ready to go back green here. Cameron Austin restarting on the bottom. Isaiah Gill restarting on the top. Pace car is in. Green flag is out. There we see Cameron Austin taking off. Austin able to get clear of Isaiah Gill. We see Isaiah Gill still right on Austin's back bumper, not letting him get away. Gill trying to set up the pass here in 3 and 4. Can't quite get under him. We see side by side between Devin Buccino and Bobby Mays. Bobby Mays with the nose. We see Buccino coming back on the high side. Devin with the nose. And Devin Buccino is able to get clear up to that 7th spot. He's going to be setting his sights on 6th place driver Kyle Mays. Look back here at the battle for the lead between Isaiah Gill and Cameron Austin. Gill right there trying to set up the pass. See if he can do anything maybe in 3 and 4. Here's the cockpit view from Isaiah Gill. This is exactly what Isaiah is seeing in his rig right now. Cameron Austin doing a great job running that defensive line and holding off that 2 machine. What is Isaiah Gill going to do here? He has been stuck behind that 77 for most of this race. See, Brian Nudie trying to reel them in as well. Again, Isaiah Gill trying to set up the pass. If he can maybe get a good run here on this front stretch, he might try to make a pass in 1 and 2. Take a look at some other battles on the track. We see Devin Buccino trying to reel in Logan Hagerman for 6th. Oh, Buccino getting a little bit loose there off of 4. See, Bobby Mays now coming up to him. See, here's Josh Hall trying to get up there to Bailey Jones for that 10th spot. We see Michael White there as well. Michael White, we see, there goes Josh Hall looking to the high side. That's gonna allow Michael White to get under him. Michael White to 11th. He's now gonna try to get by Bailey Jones. Bailey with the top 10 run right now. She has had a great race so far. It looks like she is going to lose that 10th spot on Michael White as he looks. Yep, he's able to get clear. Michael White to the 10th spot now. See, Kyle Mays all over Joe Wright's back bumper. What's Cal going to do here? Trying to set up the pass. Oh, almost making contact. We see Mays to the high side. And he's actually getting a decent run up there. They're side by side as we go into turns 3 and 4. And there we see Kyle Mays up to that 4th spot now. Isaiah Gill right there on Cameron Austin's back bumper. Still trying to set up that pass, and Brian Nudie continues to reel them in. Here's Zachary Cox trying to get... Oh! You see Chris Wheeler flies down the track, but Zachary Cox trying to get by Todd Mays for that 12th spot. Todd Mays reeling in Bailey Jones. He's looking low for that 11th spot. Side by side. We see, there you go. Todd Mays is clear and up to that 11th spot now. 75 laps to go, or 75 laps completed. Let's go ahead and take a look here at your top 5. We got Cameron Austin in 1st, Isaiah Gill in 2nd, got Mr. Brian Nudie in 3rd, 4th is Kyle Mays, and then rounding out your top 5 right now, it's Joe Wright. Looks like Dave Wright is going down a lap, as Brian Nudie all over Isaiah Gill's back bumper right now. Isaiah Gill better look out. I thought they were going to maybe try to use Dave as a pick. And oh, lap traffic is about to get interesting. We see Cameron Austin has finally caught. Oh, we see a car around. Oh! That's Mark Shavers around on the back stretch, or on the front stretch. So we are now getting set for your Marcus Pizza Wreckage replay. Here we go. So we're watching Mark Shavers. He was reeling in Nick Mather, Josh Hall. Has Brian Merle Jr. behind him. And there you see the car starts to get sideways, and into the inside wall. Ouch. Hate to see it for Mark Shavers. And then the leaders were coming up on him too. That had to have been scary. See pretty much the whole field into the pits right now. Isaiah Gill in the pits taking tires, it looks like. And he's taken off. So take a look at, here's how your pit strategy is looking right now. We see Cameron Austin has stayed out. We see Michael White on 27 lap tires, Todd Mays on 41 lap tires, Zachary Cox on 27 lap tires, Chris Wheeler on 26 lap tires, and then the rest of the field all on freshies. So the top 5 is going to have to hold off these drivers with fresh tires. I don't know if they're going to be able to. And lights are off on the pace car. We are getting ready to go back green here. Pace car's in. And there we see Cameron Austin taking off. He is able to get clear of Michael White side by side for third between Zachary Cox and Todd Mays. Todd Mays with the nose there side by side as we come off of turns 1 and 2. Todd Mays with the nose, and he is officially clear. Here comes Chris Wheeler trying to look low under Zachary Cox for that. That is the 4th spot. Wheeler with the nose. They rub a little paint there. Zachary Cox getting a good run on that high side. He has the nose as we go through 3 and 4. Cox almost clear. Here comes Brian Newty making it 3 wide. Can you do that here at Martinsville? Oh, boy. We see Cox washes way up the track. Brian Newty. Oh, Brian Newty is loose off of the corner. What a save for that 40 machine. Kyle Mays now. Oh, oh, my. This is crazy racing right here. So Brian Newty staying in 4th. That was a crazy turn of events. Chris Wheeler all over Devin Buccino's back bumper for that 5th spot. He's trying to get up there. Buccino reeling in Brian Newty for 4th as we go into turns 1 and 2. Kyle May is all over Chris Wheeler's back bumper. And we see another caution flag out. Nick Mather getting off track. Here we go. Here we have Nick Mather. Oh! That was some net code if I've ever seen any. All right, watch. Colin Williams is right front here. Hold up. Let me find it. There it is. Got the right front. Here we go. Driving into the corner, driving into the corner, driving into the corner. Never even touches him. That's definitely netcode right there. See Mather getting into the grass. Gosh, hate to see it there for Colin Williams. Got Cameron Austin in the pits right now, getting some tires. Finally, he's going to have to traverse his way back up to the field, which so far has proven difficult for a lot of drivers. So this is going to give the lead now to Michael White, who is currently on 36 lap tires. Kyle Mays on 50 lap tires, and then we got the driver on fairly new tires, 11, now 12. They're going to probably be able to fly by them very quickly. Let's take a look. Here's how your top 5 is looking right now. Michael White is in the lead. We have Todd Mays in second. We have Brian Nudi in third. Devin Buccino running in fourth. And then rounding out your top 5 right now, we have Kyle Mays. And we're getting ready to go back green here. Michael White restarting on the bottom. Todd Mays restarting on the top. Pace car is in. And there we see Michael White taking off. Green flag is back out. He's able to get clear of Todd Mays, but Todd Mays is right there. Almost gets into his back bumper. And we see Todd Mays has Brian Nudi under him right now, side by side for that second spot. We are wrecking. Cameron Austin trying to make his way back up to the field after getting fresh tires. He is involved in this one. This is the risk that you're taking when you're coming in to get those fresh tires. You have to make your way up to the field and risking getting involved in a wreck trying to get by these slower cars. Let's take a look at what happened. Here's Cameron Austin reeling in Mark Shavers. He's looking low, looking low. Oh, and we see Derek Chaput is around. I think we saw some contact between him and Cheeseburger. And then slides down into Chris Wheeler. Cameron Austin, nowhere to go except for down through the grass. See Todd Mays finally coming into the pits, leaving only one driver on old tires, Michael White, out there. Again, he is risking losing that track position and having to make his way back up to the field for fresh tires. Will it be worth it, or will he be involved in the crash? We'll see. Let's take a look at here's how your top 5 is looking right now. Michael White in first, Brian Nudi second, Devin Buccino third. We see Kyle Mays in fourth, and then rounding out your top 5 right now, it's Bobby Mays. Yes, this is going to be a good final few laps for sure. And that reminds me, we do actually officially have an emoji on Twitch now. It's just the Intensity Broadcasting logo, but it's still kind of cool. So hop on Twitch and use it and put it in your chat messages. And while you're at it, make sure to go and spend your broadcast bucks on different things like highlighting your messages and other stuff of that nature. Yeah. We just made that emoji, so hopefully y'all like it. Getting ready to go back green here. Green flag is back out. We see Michael White taking off a little bit squirrely off of turn number 4 there. He is able to get clear of Brian Nudie, but Brian Nudie all over his back bumper. We see Devin Buccino right there behind Nudie. Brian Nudie right there. Here comes Kyle Mays looking to try to get to that 4th spot. He's got Zachary Cox right behind him. Cox to his rear quarter panel. Can't quite get under him. You got Brian Nudie still right on Michael White's back bumper. Brian Nudie right there, almost to his rear quarter panel. Next couple of laps, I think you're gonna, maybe in 1 and 2 here, we might see Brian Nudie try to make a pass. No, he can't quite get under him. See Devin Buccino there for 3rd as well. Brian Nudie right there, continuing to try to set up that pass on Michael White. This is old tires versus new tires. I think right now this is the perfect opportunity. We're going to go ahead here and do pump up the intensity. So here we go. We're going to get to hear the sounds and sights of the racetrack. We see a caution flag came out while we were doing the pump up the intensity. Let's take a look at what happened. It looks like Mark Shavers is around. Then we do want to thank Mark Shavers for sponsoring tonight's Wreckage replay. There we see the Marco's Pizza logo on the screen. So it looks like Mark Shavers was way off pace. He was just really, really slow on the track. I do not know what happened to him. All right, so he was coming here through 3 and 4. This doesn't... Oh, it looks like we see a ton of smoke come out of the car. Did the motor blow? I think the motor blew. That's why he was slowing down. Gosh. The nightmare night continues for Mark Shavers. We see Michael White coming into the pits now, finally coming in to take tires. So that's everybody pretty much. I think we're going to see one more green flag pit stops for these drivers, or green or yellow flag pit stops for these drivers. Right now, we see Brian Nudie and the rest of the field are currently on 32 lap tires right now. So they'll probably come in If I do... Probably at around lap 145, you're going to see these drivers make their last pit stop. And then they should be able to make it for the rest of the race. Until then, we got Brian Newty in the lead. Here's how the rest of the field is looking. Yeah, again, Brian Newty in first. Devin Buccino in second. Then we have Bobby Mays in third. Kyle Mays in fourth. And then Isaac Gill rounding out your top five. Lights are off on the pace car, getting ready to go back green here. Brian Newty restarting on the bottom. Devin Buccino restarting on the top. Here we go. Behind them, got the Mays Mafia. Bobby Mays, Kyle Mays. Pace car's in. There we go. Green flag is out there. We see Brian Newty taking off. He is able to get clear of Devin Buccino. Here comes side by side for third between Bobby Mays and Kyle Mays. They're pretty much equal as we go here onto the back stretch. We have Bobby Mays with the nose right now. They continue to stay side by side. Mays with the nose as we go here onto the front stretch. Here we got Kyle Mays, washes way up the track. That's going to give Bobby Mays that third spot. And we see the big one come out. A huge wreck. I know the big one is normally for like Talladega and Daytona, but we just saw it here at Martinsville. Good night. That was a huge wreck. And you're going to get to see it here on the Marco's Pizza Wreckage Rewind. Here we got Chris Wheeler. We were 3 wide between Colin Willems, Bailey Jones, and we got Michael White. See Colin Willems tags the outside wall. We see Brian Merle Jr. and Chris Wheeler both almost make contact. And then it didn't look like either came up or came down. It just the two made contact. See Chris Wheeler around. Bailey Jones gets involved. And then it's just a huge pileup after that. Colin Willems into the wreck. Dylan Redding into the wreck. Michael Lawrence. Josh Hall involved. Sylvan Segoin involved. Zachary Cox involved. Man. A lot of fast cars getting involved in that one. Hate to see it. See Dylan Redding getting back on the lead lap. We're getting ready to go back green here. Here's how your top 5 is looking. We have Brian Newty in first. Devin Buccino in second. Bobby Mays in third. Fourth, it's Isaac Gill. And then rounding out your top 5 right now, it is Eddie Morris. I believe we're getting ready to go back green here. Lights are off on the pace car. We got Brian Newty restarting on the bottom. Devin Buccino restarting on the top. Do see Buccino with a little bit of rear end damage. See if that affects him. Pace car's in. And there we see Brian Newty taking off. And he was able to get clear of Devin Buccino. Still Devin right on Brian Newty's back bumper. Buccino almost got into that 40 machine. He is right there trying to make a pass. Might make a pass here on this next lap. See Isaiah Gill there as well, running in third. Eddie Morris right there. Oh, we see Isaiah Gill able to get under Devin Buccino for that second spot. He is going to be setting his sights back on Brian Newty. You see Eddie Morris all over Bobby Mays' back bumper right now for that fourth spot. Eddie Morris right on Bobby Mays' back bumper. He is right there. Trying to make a move. We see Cameron Austin is there as well. Austin make it. Oh, we see Chris Wheeler into the inside wall. And that's going to bring out our caution. That was actually Paul M's. Both Wheeler and M's cars look very similar. Here comes Paul M's. Driving it into the corner here. He's got, see, there's Todd Mays and Colton Kinsey. And M's is going to look low if Kinsey gets stuck on that high side. Turn 2, always a trouble spot. Just gets loose. There you go. M's into the inside wall. And then slides up the track. So there we see Brian Merle Jr. getting his lap back. As we are officially past 125 laps to go, getting into the waning portion of this race. Got Brian Newty in first, Isaiah Gill in second, Devin Buccino in third, Bobby Mays in fourth, and then rounding out your top 5 right now, it's Eddie Morris. We're still not quite at the tire window yet. Right now, we see your top 5, 51, 50-lap tires. I'd say give it another 15 laps before we see drivers start coming in. Do you see Moore's does have a little bit fresher tires compared to everybody else at 34. Same thing with Cameron Austin. Let's see if that advantage might help him get by your top 4. Lights on the pace car out. We're getting ready to go back green here. Brian Newty will be restarting on the bottom. Isaac Gill restarting on the top. Pace car's in. And there we see Brian Newty taking off. But great restart for Isaac Gill. He is looking to Newty's outside as we go here into turns 1 and 2. Gill to Newty's rear quarter panel right now. Brian is officially clear. We see Devin Buccino right on Gill's back bumper. Isaiah Gill just trying to set up the pass on Newty. He's right there. And we see a big wreck as the caution flag will come out here for the Marco's Pizza Wreckage Rewind. So we see Todd Mason to the outside wall. It looked like Zachary Cox was going to wash down the track. And here comes Nick Mather into 3 and 4, just gets a little bit loose, hits the grass, washes up right into Michael White. We see Todd Mays involved. Zachary Cox is involved. Colin Willems involved. We see, looks like Hagerman got a little bit of damage. Man, just another tough wreck for a lot of these drivers. So right now, in the waning portions of this race, I think we're going to see some tire strategy start to come into play. Got Brian Newty in first, Isaac Gill in second, Devin Buccino running in third right now, Cameron Austin in fourth, and then right now rounding out your top 5, we have Bobby Mays. If you notice as we were going through the top 5, you can see that so far we have a lot of beat-up race cars. I don't think there's a single car on the track without a scratch right now. It's been such a crazy race with these cautions. Lights are off on the pace car. We are getting ready to go green here. Brian Newty restarting on the bottom. Isaiah Gill restarting on the top. These two have been going at it for quite some time. Question is who's going to come out on top. We also have the tire window approaching as well. Will we see some drivers come in? Pace car's in. There we see Brian Nudie taking off. He has the nose as we cross the line. But Isaiah Gill is right there. Gill looking to the high side. He was on Nudie's rear quarter panel. Brian Nudie able to get clear, but Isaiah Gill still right there. Gill trying to make this pass in 3 and 4. Again, Isaiah Gill still right there. Can he try something here in turns 1 and 2? Cameron Austin trying to get up there to Brian Nudie in 5th. Austin has fallen way behind since the restart. And we see caution flag is out. Looks like Michael White is around. It's now time for the Marco's Pizza Wreckage Rewind. Here's yet another wreck here in the Grandma Hagerman 170. Let's take a look at what happened. See Merle Jr. moving down the track. See Dave Wright coming into frame, and I don't know if they had different like braking and lifting zones or what, but we see Merle Jr. slows way up. Michael White gets into him. And then the two make some contact. We see Michael White flies into the inside wall. And we are right around the pit window right now. Ooh, no, I'm wrong, actually. The pit window will actually be around lap 158. But I don't know if drivers are going to be willing to come in then, or else because they might lose track position. Right now, everybody pretty much has old tires at the moment. Here's what we're looking like right now. Brian Nudie in 1st. Isaiah Gill in 2nd. We see Devin Buccino still running in 3rd. Bobby Mays 4th. And we see Eddie Morris right now up to 5th right now. You see Corley Mather says, let's go Nick and Colin. Let's see where they're at on track right now. Nick Mather has had a very, very rough race. He is in the pits right now in 26th. He's been in the pits for 2 minutes. Let's see if he can finally get the damage fixed. Kyle Williams is running in 14th, just outside of the top 10. A couple smart moves, and he could definitely be in contention for this thing. Getting ready to go back green. There we see Brian Nudie taking off. Green flag is back out. And he's able to get clear. You see Isaac Gill falling in line in 2nd, all over Brian Nudie's back bumper. Gill looking low. And, we're side by side. Here comes Eddie Morris coming to that 4th spot. Oh, we see a big wreck. Logan Hagerman, Zachary Cox around. Caution flag is out. We're getting set for the Wreckage Rewind. So here's what happened. We got Todd Mays looking under Bailey Jones here. Got Dylan Redding there, Brian Merle Jr. there. Josh Hall coming into frame. And we were 3 wide between Zachary Cox and Logan Hagerman up there. We see Jones washes down the track into Todd Mays. And see Todd Mays into that inside wall, Brian Merle Jr. involved. And then we actually look at this. So this is one of the rare occurrences that we see sometimes where there was 2 separate incidents at the same time, also known as synchronized spinning. So Provolt comes down off the wall into Zachary Cox. Cox moves down into Hagerman, and then they all go around. And it's just a huge pileup between Joe Wright, Zachary Cox. Gosh, hate to see it. And that's gonna end Logan Hagerman's 0x streak for sure. Continue to watch this pit strategy. We're definitely coming in on the tire window. I don't know if these drivers are going to come in or are they just going to rough it out here with these old tires. All right, lights are off on the pace car. We are getting ready to go back green here. Got Brian Nudie restarting on the bottom. Isaac Gill restarting on the top. Behind them, it's Devin Buccino and Eddie Morris. Pace car is in. And there we see Brian Nudie taking off. Green flag is back out. We see, there goes Isaac Gill looking to the high side of Nudie. He was able to get to about the rear quarter panel, but he falls back in line. Still Gill right on Brian's back bumper. And we are wrecking again. Marco's Pizza getting a lot of good advertising, as we have had a ton of cautions here tonight at Martinsville. Here's Derek Chaput. He was running side by side with Bailey Jones. We got Michael Lawrence, Todd Mays there. And oh, looks like in front of them, Dylan Redding gets loose. And then this is going to clog up the exit of 2. Everybody has to go download to avoid it. Gosh, hate it to see it there. And we do want to thank tonight's sponsor for the Wreckage replay. Again, Mark Shavers and Marco's Pizza. And make sure to go ahead and visit your local Marco's Pizza. I know they have a lot of locations all across the United States, and I believe in Canada and some of the territories as well. And basically, you can open your own franchise if you're interested in that. Go to their website, and they do contact-free delivery and carry-out, along with curbside available at select locations. You'll have to ask. And they do have a couple of specials going on right now. Right now, unlimited large 2-topping pizzas carry out only $8.99 each if you use code HOT2GO. Unlimited medium 1-topping pizzas $6.99 each. And $3 off large specialty pizza. So again, make sure to visit your local Marco's. If you don't know where your local Marco's is, you can look it up on the location section on marcos.com. They have a lot of great stuff. My favorite thing, I'd say, is probably pepperoni, mushrooms, and onions. And sometimes I add peppers as well. That's definitely my combo. Or you can just get classic cheese, classic pepperoni, or anything else you really like. If you're a pineapple and ham person, you can do that. And whatever your preference is. Again, go to marcos.com and you can get curbside pickup at select locations, contact-free delivery, or you can get takeout from the restaurant. Getting ready for this restart here. Coming to 10 laps to go. Brian Newty restarting on the bottom. Isaiah Gill restarting on the top. Pace cars in. And green flag is out. There we see Brian Newty taking off. And he is able to get clear of Isaiah Gill. Again, Isaiah Gill trying to look to the outside of that 40 machine. He can't quite get there. But still, Gill all over Brian's back bumper. Gill going to try to make a pass here. Definitely in the next couple of laps. See Cameron Austin looking low under Eddie Morse for that third spot. He's right there. See Isaiah Gill coming back for the lead. Cameron Austin. Oh, Eddie Morris into the outside wall. Cameron Austin up to third place right now. But here comes Devin Buccino looking low. Buccino side by side with Austin. Just saw the fastest lap time get set. Isaiah Gill 19.88. So these tires are just now coming in, it looks like. 10 laps to go for these drivers. Isaiah Gill continues to stay all over Brian Newty's back bumper, and another caution flag will come out. This time it's Bobby Mays involved in this one. So Bobby Mays was running side by side with Logan Hagerman. And then we see Bobby was looking to get clear of Hagerman in 3 and 4. And it looks to me that Hagerman washes a little bit up off the apron. And then we see Bobby Mays goes around. See Dave Wright getting one of his laps back. Looks like these drivers are going to rough it out here on these old tires. 85 laps to be exact. You'd think that the tires would be hard to drive with, but no. Isaiah Gill just ran the fastest lap of the race on like 80 lap tires. I don't understand. These drivers must have done a great job warming up these tires, or saving these tires. We're coming to 5 laps to go here. Let's take a look at your top 5 right now. Got Brian Newty in first. Isaiah Gill running in second. Devin Buccino third. We see Cameron Austin fourth. And then rounding out your top 5 right now, it's Kyle Mays. What's up? Thank you for tuning in to watch the broadcast, Mark. This has just been this has been a wreck fest so far. It's just, the Xfinity cars at Martinsville is the worst combination. Good gosh. It's been some fun racing to watch, though. We've seen a lot of awesome battles up front, a lot of tire strategy going on. And we're coming here to the final laps here. Brian Newty trying to get his first win of the season. But Isaiah Gill right there behind him. Now, Isaiah Gill loves these short tracks. He has dominated in the SCSRA Street Stock Series on Tuesday nights. And he's trying to get his first win of the season. It's looking to me, I think we're going to have a first-time winner this season. So far, we've had 3 different winners. Daniel Michel, Cody Moore, and Logan Hagerman. Logan Hagerman is in 23rd right now. Cody Moore in 18th. He kind of has a chance, but he's got to get up there. Yep, Grandma Hagerman and Marco's Pizza is a winning combination for sure. Yeah, and go visit your local Marco's Pizza, official sponsor of our tonight's Wreckage replay. And again, shout out for Grandma Hagerman for sponsoring tonight's race. And there we see Brian Newty taking off here. We got 3 laps to go now. I think this is going to be a green-white checkered, I guess. We see side by side. Here comes Isaac going the outside, and we see another caution come out. And got to scroll. Oh, looks like we see Kyle Mays and a lot of the Mays Mafia involved in this one. He hadn't even completed a full lap, I don't think, yet. So here's Kyle Mays. He was running behind Colin Williams. He's got Eddie Morris, Joe Wright behind him. And we see, looks like this is going to happen here in 1-2. We see Colin Williams slows way down, and then that's going to cause Mays to check up. We see Wright gets into his back bumper, and that's going to send him around. We see Joe into the outside wall. And we see a few other drivers slide to avoid it. Woo! That's some short track racing right there, folks. See, Mark Shavers on YouTube says, love it. Yep, we are representing Marco's Pizza tonight. And again, we appreciate you so much, Mark, for sponsoring tonight's Wreckage replay. We knew we were going to have to use the Wreckage rewind a lot, so we wanted to kind of have a business to help advertise. And again, Mark Shaver stepped up and he sponsored it with Marco's Pizza, and we've definitely used it a lot for sure, and gave some awesome advertising to Marco's Pizza. So here we go. We're going to have our first attempt at a green-white checkered. And looks like during that green flag run, somehow looks like Isaac Gill somehow got the lead. So he's in first now. Brian Newty's in second. Devin Buccino third. Cameron Austin fourth. And then we got Colin Williams in fifth right now. Ooh. This has been a crazy one. There we go. Lights are off on the pace car. Getting ready to go back green here. Isaiah Gill restarting on the bottom. Brian Nudie restarting on the top. Pace car's in. There we go. Isaac Gill taking off. He is able to get clear of Brian Eady. Here comes Devin Buccino trying to get up under that number 40 machine. See Buccino side by side with Cameron Austin. He's now to Brian Nudi's rear quarter panel. They're side by side as we go into here in 3 and 4. They beat and bang. We see that's going to give Buccino that second spot. Isaac Gill with a 6/10 lead. Can he get the win? Able to make it here through turns 1 and 2. Buccino running in second. Brian Nudie in third. And there's a big gap between first and second. What a race for Isaac Gill. Was very patient and ended up being there in the end. Congratulations. Isaac Gill is your winner here for the Grandma Hagerman 170 at Martinsville Speedway. What a wild one. Saw 23 cars finish on the lead lap. Lots of wrecks. In the end, Isaac Gill was able to survive through it all and get the victory. So we're getting ready to burn it down here for Isaac Gill. There we go. Getting those donuts on the front stretch of Martinsville Speedway. And it looks like Isaiah has been practicing. And there you go. We're now getting ready for the driver interviews where we interview the top 3. I believe the first driver we're going to pull in is your third place finisher, Brian New. We're just waiting for everybody to get into the waiting room. There we go. Got Brian Nudie into the waiting room. Let's go ahead and pull him in. The man from Santa Rosa, California. It's Brian Nudie. BK, we got Brian Nudie in the broadcast booth. Brian, you got a copy?
I got you, buddy.
Awesome. Well, what a fantastic race for you. I know you started on the pole, and then we saw you drop to the back of the pack, and you were quickly able to make your way up through the field, came in early before a lot of other drivers, and when everybody else came in, you were able to inherit that lead. You kept it for most of the race, and then we saw Isaiah Gill was able to get by you on the second to last restart. And then we saw on that last restart, Buccino was able to get by, but still solid effort with the third place finish. I mean, what a wild race it was. What was your take on this race here at Martinsville?
Oh, yeah, it was a crazy race. I started from the back, but at least I got the pole, so at least now I'm in the all-star race. But I started from the back. I made a bet with Daniel Michelle on the Dodgers-Giants, so I lost, so I had to start from the back of the pack. Was able to work my way back up there. Little bit of damage coming through there, not too bad. I was able to pit, and then when I came out of the pits, I wasn't too far back. I think it was still in the top 10, and I was able to maintain the spot, get the lead, and had a really good run there. And then on that last restart, I was trying to not wash up in Isaiah, and then he was able to just inch in front of me just enough to get that lead for that final restart.
Now, I know I heard a lot of drivers were making a lot of adjustments to the car, mainly with the brake bias. How are you feeling with the adjustments to the car? Did you make any?
No, once I had the brake bias set, I just ran that the whole time. I never adjusted it or anything like that. I just found something that just works really good. It took about a lap or two to really start stopping good. So the first lap was a little rough, but after that I could really kind of get going.
Awesome. Well, before we let you go, Brian, is there anybody else you'd like to thank?
Oh yeah, of course. As always, I like to thank my beautiful wife for letting me do this. For you guys up in the booth, you guys do an awesome job. Grandma Hagerman, she's out there. She's awesome. Grandma Hagerman, 170 tonight. She did an awesome job. And then also give a shout out to Isaiah Bacino, for the top three there. And all my teammates, it was a rough night for some of us, but for the most part, we had a pretty decent finish.
Awesome. Well, again, congratulations on the bronze here at Martinsville, and hopefully we'll see some more great finishes like tonight for the rest of the season. Have a great rest of your night, Brian.
Perfect. Thanks, you too.
Well, there's Brian Nudie. We are now going to pull in Plattsburgh, New York's very own Devin Buccino. Devin, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Atlee.
Awesome. Well, what a roller coaster race for you. I know we saw you started in 15th and didn't really say your name too much until the end, where eventually after the pit strategy was said and done, you were up into the top 5 and you were there for most of the race, and saw in that last restart you were able to beat and bang by Brian Nudie and up to second. Couldn't quite catch Isaiah, but still solid effort for you. I mean, despite the starting position, you were still able to gain a lot of positions and had an awesome run. I mean, what did you think of this race here at Martinsville?
Yeah, first off, I want to apologize to Brian. I just locked him up a little bit into 3 or 1, whatever corner it was. I didn't mean to get into him there. I feel really bad about that. He was really fast today. I just missed it in qualifying. I wrecked on my second lap, was still on my first lap. Had a really good car. I think we kept it relatively clean compared to everyone around us. We had our one pit stop, which I was hoping for another one, but with the way the cautions were falling, we didn't get another one. I think we came out 9th, and then the 5 guys that stayed out or so, once they came in, we kind of just rode in the top 5 for, I think, probably the last 100 laps, 120 laps, and we were just there at the end, which is good. We've had that's our 4th straight top 10 to start the season. Haven't really found that race-winning speed, but we're definitely inching closer.
Now, y'all had pretty old tires coming to the end. How were the tires feeling on the last couple of laps?
Under green, it wasn't bad, but on the restarts, especially on the bottom, because Nudie started going a little earlier, where we were still turning, I almost gilled it like 2 or 3 times. It was really bad. Under green flag, it wasn't horrible, but the restarts, trying to just stick with that guy in front of you, I definitely almost put it in the wall a couple times.
Yeah, this track is definitely difficult for sure. But before we let you go, Devin, is there anybody else you would like to thank?
Yeah, I want to thank Tojo's Mushrooms. Tony coming on board, sponsoring us this season, really believes in this Neon Sim Racing program. We're taking strides every week. We're really trying to work on that. Dev Sports Cards, New Craft Fine Jewelry and Design, Pelican Snowballs, Level Up Subs, McKinleyville Barbershop, Valley Automotive. You guys for putting this on every week. You guys do an awesome job at Intensity. I know we wouldn't be doing this if we couldn't come back and watch it after, so you do a great job and really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we definitely enjoy calling these races here in the SCSRA Xfinity Series and watching you do an awesome job, Devin. So again, congratulations on the second place finish, and hopefully maybe we'll see a win in your future.
Well, we're getting some mile and a halves next week, so hopefully.
Yeah. Well, again, congratulations on second, Devin. Have a great rest of your night.
You too, Atlee. Thank you.
And last but not least, the man of the hour. We have Isaiah Gill. Let's go ahead and pull him in. Isaiah, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Awesome. Well, what a fantastic race for you. I know you started in 9th and you quickly made your way up to the top 3, and you were running in 2nd for most of this race, whether it was behind Cameron or behind Brian. You were always seemed to be in the catbird seat. Finally, we saw in the second to last restart, you were able to get the nose over Nudie when the caution flag came out. Had the lead on that last restart, and you were able to keep it. I mean, what a great run. What was your strategy throughout this race? And I mean, how did the car feel, and what did you think of this race?
My strategy, I feel like also here is just the better restart you get is gonna set you up for a long run. On the jumps, I feel like my jumps and any time I was in second was pretty good, and I finally got a high side and punched it off, hoping there was a yellow, and I got luck my way.
Now, I mean, what do you think set you apart from the rest of the field from getting that win? Was it restarts? Was it tire saving, pit strategy? What do you think it was?
It was definitely just restarts. And then what also helped me is Community wouldn't change his restart, so it was kind of the same. So, and then a few times he would change it, but at that point I was already mind gaming him about when he should go and when he shouldn't.
Got you. Well, looks like we saw a little bit of mind games there. Interesting. Well, before I let you go, Isaiah, is there anybody you'd like to thank for your victory?
I have to thank Atlee for putting the tire sheet on the broadcast so I know what people's tires are on, and yeah, that's what helped me.
Really? Oh, wow. So I guess I should continue to do that then, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, I'll make sure to keep that in mind. Again, congratulations on the win, Isaiah. Have a great rest of your night.
You too.
Well, there you have it, folks. Make sure to give one more round of applause to your winner, Isaiah Gill. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in to watch the broadcast here on Intensity Broadcasting. As always, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as it would be greatly appreciated. Make sure to check us on Twitter. Our name on there is Intensity Broad 1, and we are always dropping polls and interacting with our viewers on there. Also, make sure to check out eRacing TV. It's on Roku TV and Fire TV, and 7 nights a week there is iRacing action on there, including on Sundays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Intensity Broadcasting's broadcasts are on there for you to enjoy. So if you want us on your big screen, make sure to download the eRacing TV app on Roku TV and Fire TV. Again, before we end this broadcast, we also want to thank our Wreckage replay sponsor, Marco's Pizza, and the race sponsor, Grandma Hagerman. I'm Atlee Atman-Weisman on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Over and out.